a hello message to make sure we have y'all in contact. I forgot to say that before the stream started.
Live.
We're live. Hey, hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the Oakland Poetry Slam. My name is Reggie, and I will be your host on this magical journey of poetic excellence and artistic beauty. But before we begin, I, of course, have to say thank you to the people that make this show run, our supporters over on Patreon. It has now been a year and a quarter, almost to the day since we went online. We have not charged a single poet to participate in a slam, in an open mic, in a workshop. We have not charged a single audience member to engage with our content. We do, however, pay people for things such as featuring and running workshops and general organizing. So I have to say a thank you to the monthly donors on Patreon that have been giving us really the legs to stand on to be able to not just virtually support poets, poetry artists, and educators, but to financially support them as well. So I want to give a thank you to Elizanami, Melody Montgomery, John Romankiewicz. Thank you to the niggas that were on motorcycles outside. Y'all were being loud as fuck for no reason. But also thank you to Stephanie Yeboah and Renee Edmonds and Emily Chow and Calla Lily for being regular supporters on Patreon. Your support is super necessary and super appreciated. We also want to give a shout out to Jessica Kozakic for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops. And then, of course, we want to give a special risk it for the biscuit shout out to Alice Grimm and Rebecca Abraham for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Blueford Center. On average, our donations are like $11 a month. You can donate anywhere from $2 a month to $100 a month. But really, when you donate, you can support a global literary and performing arts movement. If you enjoy what you see here, if you believe in reparations and liberation for oppressed people, if you believe in public speaking and performance, you can head on over to patreon.com/richoakevents in order to donate monthly. You can also drop a one-time donation in our GoFundMe that has been up for a while. You can support us that way, which the link shall be in the chat. Linktree.com/richoakevents. Lit. Yeah, we got a slam tonight. A. And like with every competition, our slam has rules. First, for our poets, y'all have no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity. We do not want to see your genitals on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. They will take us down. Maybe not Twitter, but they'll definitely take us down from everything else. So please keep your pants on. But more importantly than keeping your genitals inside of your pants or whatever article of clothing you may have from the neck up, is our time limit. You have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to spit your own original work. After 3 minutes in that grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Tino. After 4 minutes, you will be muted. Music will be played, and I will have to awkwardly recover the rest of this show. And let me tell you, I am not good at recovering the fumble, and that is why I got cut from the high school football team. Next, for our audience, y'all have rules too. I need y'all to look at whatever device you are watching us on. I need you to go ahead and click that like, that share, that subscribe button on all of our social media and our YouTube, youtube.com/Bay Poetry Night. We do a lot of shit every month, whether it is us, the Oakland Slam, the Berkeley Slam, or the Alchemy Open Mic. We do like 14 things every month, and it's hard to remember all of those things. And that is why you want to stay so weedy tapped in to all of our social media so you know what's happening when, and you can sign up for a slam or sign up to judge or just be there and watch. And yeah, speaking of being there and watching, you should be engaged. There is a whole ass comment section for you to use to give positive feedback to our poets. It is mad dry in a Zoom room, but our God, our Lord and Savior Arvin, they post the comments from our streams into our chat so that we can see them. And it really does warm my heart to see the nice things that you have to say about these amazing artists. But keep it cute. If you get nasty, you will get blocked. We don't play that shit. So, you know, stay respectful. And then finally, for our judges, first, thank you so much for judging. Without you, there would be no winner. Without a winner, we would not be able to give out $50 in cash prizes tonight. So thank you so much for judging, but y'all got rules too. Y'all will be giving every poem a 0.0 to a 10.0. 0.0 being the worst thing you've ever heard in your life. It's like babies crying over puppies whining over kittens, whatever noise they make when they're distressed yowling. And then like in the background, like the beat to it, like the bass beat, it's not a bass beat. It's like whatever elementary school teacher you hated the worst, having long ass nails and scratching on a chalkboard, and that's just a 2.5. A 10 is the best thing you've ever heard in your life. It's like the laughter of Black children, and that's just an 8.5. Point being, there's not a lot of zeros, there's not a lot of tens. Score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep, where as the night goes on and we may get a little drizz, may get a little smith, may just be feeling the general vibes if we're sober. Either way, as the night goes on, the poetry starts sounding better. And that's not fair to the people who went first when you were vibeless, sober, and in a bad mood from your day at work. So to help out with that, we will have a sacrificial poet, someone who is not competing, but you are going to score them as if they are. Any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. Lit. Let me see which was the right list. Great. We have 7 amazing poets coming up on the mic tonight, and they will be reading in this order. Can I get like a woo for every poet? There might be a delay, so we'll see about this. But we have Cypress Taylor. Woo! We have Sav Spoken. Woo! We have Mike Taylor.
Yeah.
We have Stephanie Westgate.
Wow.
We have Caleb. Woo! We have Joshua Merchant. Woo! And we have Lyrically Gifted Brother. Woo! Gang, gang, gang. Those are our poets that will be reading tonight. And without further ado, on deck, we have our first poet competing in the slam, Cypress Taylor. But give maximum love for your sacrificial poet, Reggie.
Reggie.
That's my top. That's my top.
Can you hear me?
No. Yeah, we can hear you.
Content warning for Black Death. I didn't expect the dirt to be this gentle, but I needed this. The feeling of a caress that is warm against my chilled skin. Everything I have encountered in this life has tried to kill me. I don't need my grave to pain me too. Everything in life was hard and bitter, but the soil here is sweet and soft and fertile. What a perfect place to rest. I am tired of running and fighting and trying to catch the breath that keeps slipping from my lungs like sand through lazy fingers. I am tired of lead showers and entire days spent praying that my blood does not unearth itself from my veins. When I was alive, I was so concerned with avoiding all the ways I could be determined too Black to stay here. Now that I am gone, I am only concerned with how the dirt will receive me when I finally come back home. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I am only returning to the earth that birthed both me and what or whom I struggle against. What a strange feeling it is to know that this country is both selfish and thirsty for me. This land soaked in my blood now holds my body too, even when it claimed my mother's and my mother's mother's bones before me. Let me rest underneath the feet of my kin and birth new light from my decomposition. What is the Black body but a constant offering? Even in death, my body is a temple. Even my rotting can become an altar. Deus ex machina my legacy into something my children would want to inherit. Everything done in my name, a small miracle or divine intervention. Everything said in my name, a hope, a blessing, a prayer. Let this world be better for us after I leave. Okay, give it up for your sacrificial poet. I need woos, I need ads.
Let's go.
Way to go, poet.
Okay, yes. Keep that energy up for every single poet that touches this stage tonight. I do not want Sally's raggedy ass hopping over here from Berkeley Slam, because you first started at Berkeley Slam, talking shit here at Oakland Slam, because we will get to busting. This is not a suburb. This is, in fact, the Hood Slam. But not Hood Slam, because that's like a wrestling thing. Anyway, that was your sacrificial poet. Judges, please send your scores to our scorekeeper, Tino Lit. So with that, we're ready to start the show. Oh my goodness. Super excited to hear every single poem coming on stage tonight. And that means on deck, we have Sav spoken, but give maximum love to our first poet competing in the slam. Give it up for Cypress Taylor.
Let's go, poet. Gang, 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 gang.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Content warning for periods and dysphoria. Every month, I die a slow and bloody death, a crucifixion of sorts, my spirit pouring out of me in pools of red. I feel like a crime scene, like a murder of my own making, like death is just the nature of my living, all dizzy, weak, all shiver and bruises, black spots on my vision, can't stand upright, shedding the nutrients even my body has decided I do not deserve. I bleed heavy, like wound, like cry in the bathroom, like beg for the day when the bleeding stops, when I can resurrect myself a clean thing, unsoiled, and pretend that my hands will not be forever stained with the red of grieving myself, with the messy death of a girl I learned to be, with the pain of my body once again out of my control, pretend that I will not bleed to death again next month, and everyone calls it a miracle. Tells me this is the beauty of womanhood, the magic of giving life. But I am not a woman. And I am tired of giving life, tired of how my life seems to have always been designed for giving. I want to know how to keep things. My blood, my heart, and my body feels like a dead thing, feels like hands inside me twisting as if to say this flesh will never truly be mine. Call it a gift from God, but Moses was never left to drown in his Red Sea. I do not worship of my own volition. This is a sacrifice I have no choice but to give. I am a goat slaughtered on the altar of a God that claims he demands no blood. My uterus chants in tongues. She says, remember who you were supposed to be. You were made to hold something, to give life, not live it. You still bleed like a girl. Your body remembers the woman of you. You cannot run from this. So I don't run. I wear my crown of thorns, place my hand on my chest and feel the heartbeat of a not quite girl, still alive, still breathing. Call me a zombie or a phoenix or some kind of savior. Take this blood as a sacrament. But only I will eat of this body, will grow full with this holiness. I have no choice but to keep dying. But I will always live again.
Gang,
Wow.
gang, I need y'all to give it up for the
Brother
poet
out the gate. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
judges. Y'all know what to do.
Go poet.
Send your score. No, I heard hella people cheering and like giving it up for the poet. They might not have been loud, but they were supportive. So Sally, I'm gonna need you to take your ass up out of here. No. Not this goddamn early. Thank you. Someone said, shut up, Sally. Yes, this is Juneteenth is just around the corner. We're not doing this today. It's Pride Month. Juneteenth is around the corner. We all up in our element. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Not with no Sally. But judges, please send your scores to Tino, and our sacrificial poet got a 26.3. Y'all know what I always say, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry, never the points. The poetry, never the points. Lit. We are going to keep it pushing. So on deck, we have Mike Taylor, but give maximum love to our second poet coming up in the first round. Give it up for Sav Spoken.
Yes.
Gang, 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 gang.
Right. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Content warning, Black Death, crucifixion. Someone told me about homeless Jesus. And I didn't cry because there were nails in his feet. I wept because he did, and no one knows why. I spilled my saltwater vulnerability because white people keep telling me that a white man died for my sins. A white man died for my Black sins. My Blackness is a sin. It belongs on park benches in the winter. It belongs on sloppy food trays. It belongs on cardboard. It belongs on signs that read, please pray for me. I'm hungry. We'll work for food. But when I heard about homeless Jesus, my heart started beating again. When I hear my people say amen, I lift my hands in highest praise. I praise the sacrificial lamb because I know what it's like to have my blood spilt on the altar. My wrists have taught me sin ain't no joke, words hurt. So when the whole congregation calls my God Father, I writhe in pain. I want to sing, my God is an awesome God. She reigns, she reigns. She is my mother. No, she my mama. That's right. She did that though. Sent her only Black son out on the streets. She kissed his Black forehead and said, have a good day, sweetheart. Do me proud. He made her proud. He died in front of everybody. Arms open, he said, don't shoot. Pontius Pilate didn't listen. Pontius Pilate didn't say her name. When he looked into his wife's eyes, he just saw another woman. Just another woman's pleads to ignore. How many times do we need to scream, stop, at the top of our lungs? How many times do we need to say, I can't breathe? How many times do we need to weep? Weep like Jesus. Weep like his mother. Weep like my mama in heaven. Weep like all the Black mamas with no one to bake cornbread for. Weep like me. Hear my weeping. Jesus wept. Hear me. Listen to the sound of aching in Andrea Gibson's voice as lips tremble, poetry, broken chords falling on deaf ears. Someone told me about homeless Jesus. So I started building a home.
Gang, gang,
Let's
gang. Give it
go,
up
Chloe.
for
Yeah.
Sam Spoken.
Woo!
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
Fairly.
Gang, gang. And for reference, Cypress Taylor got a 27.1. Give it up for the poetry, never the points. The poetry, never the points. Lit. I'm sorry, I'm really feeling the music. I'm also like pulling up the host checklist because I like for some reason exited out of it for no reason. And that has my list on it. Lit. I got it back open and we are back in business. On deck, we have Stephanie Westgate, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Mike Taylor.
Go team
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let me know you can hear me all right.
We can hear you.
Hear you.
Every year in Pamplona, Spain, hundreds of people gather on the streets to watch the bulls run from Corral Gate to Arena. Now, the bravest of the onlookers jump over the safety barricades to run with the thundering herd. Did they never see The Lion King? Funny how the roar of a crowd can be louder than the sirens of common sense, but my mom, from her hospital bed, tells me stories of how long she's been running, how many barricades she's had to jump, how growing up in the 50s felt like sprinting from a stampede, but that's how we feel the most alive, she says. Outrunning death. We climb mountains for the view. We join the army and come back with war stories. Me, I ride motorcycles, ignore the death toll clutch, switch gears, gun the throttle down the center of the freeway. My mom, she prays for me. In 2012, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Blood test results sound like a starting gun. She smiles, laughs in elephant graveyards, argues with doctors about operation success rate, tries to set me on dates with her nurses. She remembers every one of their names, prays for them. Last week, true story, while being rolled down the hallway of a hospital attached to a rolling drip IV, she turns to another patient and she asks if they want to race. This woman's the bravest fighter I know. Flew to over 16 different countries to teach computers, came back with war stories, calls chemotherapy time off, calls her new haircut chic. Now she runs, joints aching from bone marrow samples, exercises between treatment, is hungry and nauseous at the same time, ignores the death toll, is the only patient in the hospital wing, roaring with laughter, surviving, and she's never been much of an onlooker. A Black female matador in the center of a corporate arena, she lassoed together 2 sons and a house, dodged layoffs, carried me to the top of Pride Rock to say, there is not much I have to give, but everything before you can be yours if you're willing to fight for it. So last week, at 66 years old on the 2nd floor of San Jose Regional Hospital, my mother tells me she wants to learn how to ride motorcycles. The doctors have given her until September. And the last lap of a race is always the hardest. So now I understand why hundreds of people jump over the safety barricades at the festival in Spain, why they swim with sharks and scale mountains and hold lit dynamite like candles. Sometimes waking up with a smile is an extreme sport because a bed and a coffin are the safest places on earth. But safe has never felt very alive. Lymphoma is just another marathon. Mom, you've been running from cancer for 5 years and your race is over, but the baton passes to us, so runners take your mark. I hear the sound of thunder rolling on the coastlines of eternity. Get set, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. The race has begun. What are you doing just standing there?
Gang, gang,
Woo!
gang.
Yo.
Give it up for Mike
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Judges, send
Let's go,
your
poet.
scores. No.
Risk it for the biscuit. Ain't no biscuit
No.
if you don't
Wow.
risk it.
We gotta throw the whole catchphrase away. God damn. Can't have shit nice with this. Thank you to the people in the comment section that are saying shut up, Sally. We love to see the mutual hate. For reference, Sap Spoken got I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. For reference, Sav Spoken got a 27.4. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. The poetry, never the points. I'm gonna do a quick little plug and shout out a dope organization called Bay Area Creative. They are our fiscal sponsor. They are an amazing organization that connects poetry to different spaces, whether it's education, whether it's professional development, whether it's therapeutic art. They go into a bunch of different sites to teach poetry as a means of self-expression. I am a former student of their high school program, but they go anywhere from, at least with their school programs, from elementary, and they've even taught in college settings. So if you would like to learn more about our fiscal sponsor, the people that make it so that your donations are tax deductible, you should go to bayareacreative.org. If you are an educator, if you are a school administrator, if you are a manager and an executive of a company that wants to figure out how to incorporate art into the workplace, you should definitely go to bayareacreative.org, get tapped in, send an email, get connected, get them into your establishment. I can say personally, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bay Area Creative. A lot of the stuff that you see wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bay Area Creative and the people and the students that have come through it. So show your support, donate, pay them to do services. It's great. There is something for everybody. It's like a buffet, or what they try to make America look like. Something for everybody when there's nothing for nobody. Great, but no. Bay Area Creative is great. They are everything for everybody. Lit, and I am going to stop talking and turn it over to the next poet. So on deck, we have Caleb, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Stephanie West. Yay!
Yeah. Woo!
Can y'all hear me?
Can hear you.
Content warning, rape, and abusive kink. I ran away from the last room I had sex in, if that's even what it could be called. He told me, be silent when his wife called, and I obeyed. Still wanting to be the good girl, I offered for him to slurp soup off my ass, not knowing that'd be the wettest I'd get. I offered my body for mummification, and he laid me on my back. I didn't know he had already gagged me when I gave up begging for him to stop sucking my cock. I wasn't even tied up yet, but I still laid there, still wanting to be the good girl. I only moved when he told me it was time for his tissy to please my master. I ran away. I ran away from the first room I had sex in, if that's even what it could be called. We met on an app. He called me his tissy, called me an experiment, wanting to see how much woman could be sucked from a man's cock and I, wanting to be the good girl submissed, but still, he wouldn't call me girl. So I tied myself to the chair, ass out all pussy, and begged for him to fuck me good, to fuck me as a woman should. I remember back in trans support group, everyone saying how amazing sex and their life is now that they're complete, cock disposed and fully woman, and I spread my ass cheeks wider, turn and suck his cock harder, hoping one of my holes would be pussy enough for him, hoping I chose right with letting him complete my woman. I ran away from the first person I was gonna have sex with. We met on an app. He didn't have a profile picture, but he said all the right things. He called me girl, not sissy. He called me good, not cross-dressing showpiece or kink bucket list. Yes, this was going to be a kink hookup. Every hookup I've run away from has been kink. I've never met a person who didn't just want to fuck me because I fulfilled some of their fantasies. And I know he did too, but he sweetened it. At me begging to be fucked by my chalk outlining savior, but a friend found me outside crying because I couldn't go through with it. By the only standards I knew, I still wasn't a woman, and I couldn't bear to have those feelings stamped true, and she cries with me. Her tears joyous because I did run away, says that's the fastest way for me to get killed, makes me promise to never do it again, but I did. And I did, and I do, and I stayed in the room I was raped in, if that's even what it could be called, because the judge says it isn't, says there was never any penetration. Besides, we're just boys. I hadn't come out yet then, but now I think he knew I'd be here, how he smiled as he kept me restrained and begging. I ran away because I didn't want to validate my rape. Didn't want to know I actually like this.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for the poet. Woo!
Yes, the poet. Yes, the poet. Yes, the poet.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a good poet.
Give me 2 seconds to finish chewing pizza. That's my Taurus moon for you. I'm always eating something. Lit. Oh, it is not pineapple pizza. Don't you dare. First of all, my partner's allergic to pineapples. So if I eat pineapple pizza, I'm not kissing anybody tonight. And as a Sagittarius sun, that seems wrong. Right. It's Pride Month and I'm not kissing anybody. Ooh, there's another Sag sun. We'll talk after the show. But yes, let's see, where was I? Mike Taylor got a score of a 27.2. Once again, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry, never the points. It's all about the poetry, never the points. If I came here for the points, what would be the point of coming here just for the points and not to listen and to share poetry? I like to think of slam as like the biggest scam ever, because we, at least before the pandemic, we got to trick a whole bunch of drunk motherfuckers to come into a bar and listen to live art for 2 to 3 hours. Genius. A genius. And now you're coming to a live stream. You've brought live poetry into your home all because of a silly bar game. All because of silly bar game. I love this. I love this community. We ain't shit sometimes, but gotta love you anyway. It's like family. But yeah. Shit, where were we? Okay. I see where we are. On deck, we have Joshua Merchant, but give maximum love to our next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Caleb.
Let's go, Caleb.
Test, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So I'm at a gay pride party in San Francisco. White Rainbow tells a joke. He laughs. He does not notice that he's the only one laughing. White Rainbow says, "Oh, too soon? Oh my God, that was just a joke." He says, "I'm gay." He says, "How can I be racist?" He says, "I date black men." Fellow White Rainbow does not understand. This proves he only cares about black bodies, not black lives. There is a difference. This is my realization. Racism has become so gay, it's becoming harder to protest racism without protesting gayness. White Rainbow says, "I created the Castro," says, "This would be so much cuter if we spruced it up just a little." Paints the walls white, the floors white, the doors white, says, "Come on in, everyone is welcome," especially if you match the doors, the walls, and the floor. Gay white bar shows RuPaul's Drag Race. White Rainbow steals, we borrow all the sayings. We steal more culture that isn't ours as we sashay all over the dead brown trans bodies who fought for our freedom. Gay White Rainbow says, "I get it. All rainbows bleed, but we'll forget how some rainbows have always bled more. When our queerness defined us, we fought for acceptance until we became more red, white, and blue. But are we becoming more American, or are we becoming more Confederate? Because the only difference in the Confederate flag and the American flag is how we arrange the colors." We smile. We say, "Look at what we bought." As we Christopher Columbus in up-and-coming neighborhoods spend white rainbow dollars tearing down dilapidated houses instead of the systematic racist policies that allow the other people's homes to become dilapidated in the first place. And we pat ourselves on the back as we place another racist monument on our porches that reads "Welcome Home." And every day the light reflects off another statue. Another color is lost. And White Rainbow continues to see colors that only they or we want to see, continues to pluck the diversity from our flag one color at a time, forgetting how light is made of all colors, not just the colors that match. And rainbow used to be a promise that rain would never destroy the earth from above, but this promise never said that we wouldn't destroy our own community from within.
Gang,
Yo,
gang,
that was dope.
gang. Give it up for Caleb.
Tell them everything.
Lit. Oh, why the hell did I mute myself? Child, it's been a long day. But yes. Oh, I think I was trying to open up the chat so I could look at the scores. There we go. I have ADHD, so if I'm not looking directly at what I want, it's over for everything. And for reference, Stephanie Westgate got a 27.2. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poets, not the points. The poets, not the points. Although I will say these judges are remarkably consistent. Thank you for that. No wild ass scores today. We love consistency. Something as a Sagittarius, I do not know what that is. Thank God I have Earth in my chart because it would be bad. But let's see. Okay, it just moved. Something moved around in the host checklist. I was scared for a second. But we're good. We're good. It was a good move around. On deck, we have lyrically gifted brother, but give maximum love to our penultimate poet of the first round, which I believe means second to last, but don't quote me. Give it up for Joshua Merchant.
Woo! I'm so happy to see your face again.
Can y'all hear me? You can. Cool.
I have not been able to touch the destruction within me, but unless I learn to use the difference between poetry and rhetoric, my power too will run corrupt. Audre Lorde. I am walking through the streets of a city. Buildings made of pure cotton tower over me, all on fire. My mouth keeps refilling with blood, and I keep swallowing. I am cornered by a man, covered in aged paper and cursive ink. He bursts into flames. My cheeks fill with blood. He reaches for my neck and makes a flagpole out of it. I desperately try to swallow, to keep from spitting up, when my pursed lips begin to leak, and suddenly I feel it, the heat expanding inside my body, the most powerful and destructive version of myself waiting to make shrapnel out of my limbs. To know pride, freedom, or lack thereof is to have a gas leak of a tongue or lungs propane-filled, trying not to breathe around those whose skin or authority sparks. In my dreams, racism is this simple, a pregnant allegory waning under my tongue. When I awake on the bark I dozed off on, I'm not surprised by the two cops or the aged man who smells spoiled, with skin like mine, with skin like coal, shouting, fuck that white bitch, or the woman with flaming red hair, her body a pillar of cotton rising from her seat, bellowing, leave me alone, you bet not touch me. The old man is a bruised propane tank leaking fuel, escorted off the train. The other cop stays behind trying to calm the fire. Niggas be tripping, the woman mumbles. She looks up to see me staring. Fuck you looking at, she says. And I feel it, the heat expanding inside my body, burning to her spine. I accidentally bite my tongue so hard it starts bleeding, filling my jaws, and I swallow.
Gang, 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 give it up for Joshua Merchant. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh,
Shots, fireworks, fireworks. Yes. What's that? Do I hear Sally shutting the fuck up? Thank you so much to everybody for clapping for all of these poets. We have one more poet of the round. For reference, Caleb got a 27.8. Once again, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. The poet. Never the points. Lit. So on deck, we have the second round. But give maximum love to our last poet of the first round. Give it up for lyrically gifted brother.
Come on, let's go.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. In May 2015, in the town of Haverford, Westwell, Carol Hawthorne parked her car and went shopping. While shopping, over 20,000 bees swarmed her vehicle. A local man, fearing for the safety of others, called their team of beekeepers to assist with the situation. By the time Carol finished shopping, the bees were gone. However, a day later, when Carol came out her front door, she realized the bees had swarmed her car again after following her home. Apparently, their queen was trapped inside and they were trying to set her free. This made me think, I wonder if women would feel more protected and safe if men were more like bees, but not the drone bees. Even though they are male, their main role is to mate with a fertile queen, and we have enough deadbeat dads, drones. We don't need no more baby bees buzzing about. I haven't seen my father and I'm almost 16 because men, drones go from house to house, hive to hive, looking for any queens to fertilize, that it gave them access to her eggs, sleeping with any bee that would spread their wings. I bet that women wish they could perform the action of the queen bee and rip the penis from the male's anatomy, which really does happen after sex. This means we won't have as many men laying around the hive dependent on the queen. What we need is more worker bees. Even though they are female, their main role is to assist and protect the queen, to swarm and sting any predator that threatens the hive. And yes, it's true, after a bee uses stinger, it dies, but that is a small sacrifice if it means she stays alive, stays around. It's time to take our burdens off women's backs and forcing them to wear two crowns. You be the king. You swarm and sting men who choke women in beauty salons. They're accused of shoplifting and then holds them hostage. If a man is beating a woman in public, don't just pull out your phone and press record. Do whatever it takes to stop it. When athletes assault women and gets a pass because they can throw a football, dribble, or run real fast, you sting their pockets. It is time to let this be known that our mothers and daughters will be respected. Our women will be protected by any means, because when it comes to our queens, we will swarm, we will sting, we will go to war because they are worth dying for.
Let's talk about it.
Gang.
Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Gang. Give it up for lyrically gifted brother. And okay, we had some moves. I was scared for a second.
Let's go, poet.
God damn it. Damn, Sally. God damn it. Look, Sally, can we make a deal?
Did you miss me, Slash?
No one missed you. I just want to know, what would it take for you to shut the fuck up and never show up ever again?
They should cheer.
Okay, you heard her. You heard Sally. She is holding us hostage until we cheer. So there's that. And for reference, Joshua Merchant got a 27.6. Woo! Give it up for the poet, never the points. Lit.
Exactly.
Let's see. While we are waiting for the scores to be tallied for the second round, let me tell you about some things you should know about. First, I want to plug a GoFundMe. We have a community member who reached out to us, has been going through a lot, been surviving a lot, and I don't know about you, but I know for a fact that it takes an entire community to rally around people when we get on tough times. It's hard. It's incredibly hard to do things alone, and we are not alone. This is Rich Oak. We have people all across the world that we consider family, and we should all be helping each other out. So we are plugging this GoFundMe. It is in our Linktree, linktree.com/Rich Oak Events, and then you click on support community member in need. That will take you right to the GoFundMe where you can donate to help support a community member trying to move out of an extremely volatile situation. I don't want to give too many details because I like to respect people's privacy, but just know I don't put my support behind bullshit. I put my support behind people and things in the community and issues that do need tackling. I will say we do believe in supporting and uplifting Black women and femmes. If you believe in that too, I highly encourage, damn near require you to go support this GoFundMe. The link will be in the chat. If you can't support, share. Sometimes, you know, I get it, you know. I just paid my rent half a month ago. Um, yeah, but you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those things are free. Um, we, if we don't have money, we can send it to somebody who does. Everybody got a rich friend. Everybody either got a rich friend or everybody got a friend that treats a credit card like they're a rich friend. Either way, everybody got somebody that could donate. And for reference, moving on into the slam, back into the slam. That was a shitty transition, but we're still, wow. That's gonna be the name of my next chapbook. Shitty transitions about gender.
No, I'm shutting that down right now. No. Ready, stop.
During Pride Month, really?
During Pride
Month? Come here.
Yes. Yes.
That's why we can have nice things.
We can't have nice things because of capitalism. That ain't got shit to do with my gender problems. I feel like I'd have a lot less gender problems if I could afford a new pair of titties. I feel like, never mind. You know what? We'll get into that later. For reference, lyrically gifted brother got a 27.0. See what they do to me? They get me off track. But yeah, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. The poet, never the points. So we're gonna move into our second round. Round two. Damn, I don't have this round two list. So. I sent it to you. You just sent it to me? Yes. Oh, lit. These scores, from what I've seen, are like mad fucking close and have been mad fucking close the entire night.
Fourth place are tied.
Yeah. So y'all should know. If you don't make it into the second round tonight, we have Berkeley Slam tomorrow. Next week, the week after next, the week after that, and then another Oakland Slam. There's plenty of chances to get into the second round. Y'all are amazing no matter where you placed. I've been floored by the poetry, and that's why the scores have been so fucking consistent, because everybody is dope. But the poets will be reading in this order, and this is reverse order of appearance. This is not like standings or anything. So don't get any ideas based on this. This is just where you're reading. We have Joshua Merchant, then we have Caleb, then we have Stephanie Westgate, then we have Mike Taylor, then we have Sav Spoken. Give it up for everybody who is in the second round, and then keep those woos, those cheers, those comments in the comment section going for everyone who touched the stage tonight. Woo! Ah, gang, 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 gang.
Let's go.
Fireworks, gunshots.
That first round was fire.
Yeah, but yeah, I wonder if this second round is going to be water, earth, air. Can you look? I will take every opportunity to go into the intro to Avatar: The Last Airbender. That is my shit. It is Pride Month. I don't know what Pride Month has to do with Avatar. I just feel like all the gays love it. But yes, we're not gonna have a sacrifice. We're just gonna stick. That was a loud noise. We're just gonna slip right into the second round with on deck we have Caleb. But give maximum love to our first poet of round two. Give it up for Joshua Merchant.
Woo, let's go, Joshua.
Can y'all hear me?
Indeed.com.
Yes.
Rakia Young says, they treated me like I was an animal on the street. An animal don't even deserve that. The animal was a dragon. A police officer pulled out a can of mace. The dragon laughed, "Oh, sweetie, that's not hot, that's just bitter," and proceeded to make broth out of his bones by simply sneezing. The group of officers behind her were all already squashed by her tail before the officer in her face became a puddle of exploding blood vessels reaching for his weapon. She was guarding the carriage holding her nephew and hatchling. At that moment, there was nothing else to offer. There was no metaphor or essay to prepare a 2-year-old for what was to be seen there. So in this anecdote, in this article, in this dystopian Instagram post of a displaced child neglected, in this video, the siren was a mother. The fire was the mother. The swarm was an angry little anthill. The swarm was a bodyguard, what was a barbecued circle jerk kebabbed by scales. The swarm was a beaded necklace of riot gear helmets. The mother didn't call for a courtroom, but a celebration, echoed in Clifton's name. And her son was flown away by her nephew saying, "It's all right. Everything is just fine. Everything is just..."
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Joshua Merchant. Woo!
Let's go, poet.
Yes, 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 yes.
Let's do
I taste
it.
away.
Oh my goodness, I sneezed. But yes, give it up for the poet. Lit, we are going to keep it moving, keep it grooving, which means on deck we have Stephanie Westgate, but give maximum love to our second poet of the second round. Give it up for Caleb.
Let's go, poet.
Yo, let's get it.
Trigger warning. Suicide. I'm so sick of spitting the same poem. The one where he dies, the one where he's tombstone, the one where I couldn't save him, the one where I feel like he chose death over me, the one where I wake up every single morning with scratch marks on my pillow where I tried to drag him back to this earth. So today I will spit his poem in reverse. The crowd moonwalks back to their cars. 2012 to 1979 is uncarved from his tombstone. His father's words are Mustangs stampeding back inside of his mouth. He says that if I show up to Ronnie's funeral, they will bury me with his body. This wasn't really a threat. I wanted to be buried with his body. All they had was his body. Ronnie rises from the grave. 6 feet under becomes 6 feet tall. The bullet unwraps from his temple. It re-enters the gun. The razor erases the marks on his wrist. He spits the pill back into the bottle. He was alive. Becomes he is alive. He touches my cheek. He says that he loves me. He says that he will love me till the day that he dies. This isn't really fair. I always thought he meant for longer. Ronnie spent his whole life acting out a script that he knew he would eventually be cut from, where every day he fought a war just to exist, and everywhere was a battlefield, and loving me was his form of a revolution. His father, unasked, who touched him, who made him gay. Homosexuals Anonymous, his third attempt, his second, his first. His father says there was love in his heart, but I also say there was blood on his hands. Hometown. High school, bullied in class, avoid school, shoved in locker, never pushed off the bleachers, down the stairs, pushed too far. The word faggot unscrawled from his yearbook picture. Rock unhits his window, fist swims away from his jaw. Middle school, bruised face disappears. Told boys will be boys. That's not really considered assault if you're over 18. How he learned being called any part of a woman was the greatest of insults. At 5, he puts the Barbie down. At 1, his father is not afraid to hug him. He is born now. His parents peek through the hospital glass and say all that they want is for their son to be happy. And when they look at his face, all they see is potential.
Gang.
Let's go, poet.
Gang. Give it up for the poet. Woo! Gang, gang, gang.
Gang, 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 gang.
Gang, gang, gang. On deck. Ooh, we have Mike Taylor. But give maximum love to our next poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Stephanie. Actually, I forgot that last poet scores. That's on me. Joshua Merchant got a 27.8. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. The poet, never the points. That's my bad. Sorry about that. Which means now on deck, we have Mike Taylor. But give maximum love to our next poet. For real this time. Give it up for Stephanie Westgate. Woo!
Let's go.
Can y'all
Let's
hear
go,
me?
poet.
We can hear you.
Content warning, suicide, transphobia from family. Ekphrasis to my baby photo, June 16th, 2020. I woke up like just another day. And you're still like just another day. And is this how it feels to be frozen? Do you ever get tired? Are your legs tired from standing, lips cracked because you're thirsty? Because, mine aren't. My legs move me out of bed just fine. And is this how ice feels as it starts melting? Easy, free. What scares me isn't that I tried to kill myself, but my body forcing forget, like it can just live on without me. Like you live on without me while I'm still chained to your existence. Mom has for years asked to take photos with me. Says it's now why she can't gender me properly because, she's only ever surrounded by pictures of you. Of me as you. And my therapist warned me of this, said that my transition isn't mine. It's owned also by everyone around me, no more important than family. And I'm strong. I'm so strong because I know who I am and I should cater to help those who don't, but I still can't look at a picture of myself without only seeing every ugly thing. I asked Mom if I could wear heels while we walk the dog. She said yes, but always kept 2 steps ahead. I went to wear a tank top, but she said change or shave your armpits. I went to wear a dress to the dinner, but she said change or lose your family. I asked her to call me Stephanie, but she said you can't call a horse a cow and have it not be a horse. I asked her to call me Stephanie, but she said she's only ever surrounded by pictures of you. And maybe I should have just taken those pictures when she asked. Maybe that would have solved everything, but I don't want her to have pictures of me like this. I don't want pictures of me like this. If I'm so strong, why is my wrist still on the knife? I can't take the knife off my mind. It's the ugliest part of me in every picture. I don't know right now I'm living or dead. Just that my body moving myself out of bed don't mean shit. Don't mean me, just means I'm the Titanic, sinking between iceberg and expectation, the boat on the horizon, thinking my flares are fireworks, the ocean haunting the balance of buoyancy and hunger, the fact I still sleep next to you for insurance. Lifeboats for women and children first.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Stephanie Westgate one last time.
Word.
Yes.
Yes. And for reference, Caleb got a 27.8. Once again, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry, never the points. The poetry, never the points. Lit. So that means on deck, We have our last poet of the night have spoken, but give maximum love for our penultimate poet. And I checked, it does mean second to last. Give it up for Mike Taylor.
I'm his teammate. Yep.
Let's go, Mike.
Can y'all hear me all right?
E.com.
A recipe for making cake. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You'll need eggs, sugar, flour, a whisk. If no whisk is available, you may substitute a fork or a stirring spoon. A guide to making turkey sandwiches. These can be a bit more difficult. You'll need thinly sliced turkey, bread, mayonnaise, pepper. Hot sauce can be used to substitute for pepper. Don't get frustrated because you're hungry. Don't skip steps. Don't drop the sandwich onto the floor. If you do drop the sandwich onto the floor, don't blame the sandwich. A police officer's guide to traffic stops. Ask for license and registration. You'll need a radio, a ticket book, a pen. Do not substitute a pen for a gun. Do not get frustrated. If you drop an unarmed suspect onto the floor, do not blame them. Do not add pepper spray. Do not add your boot to his jaw. You see, the cooks in my family, we love to trade recipes. Graham taught me how to make whiskey mac and cheese. Mom tells me only pull over for highway patrol in a well-lit area. At the dinner table, we pass across family secrets. General checkpoints for raising brown children. Teach them to tie their shoes, but not to run. A 100-yard dash cannot be substituted for a quick getaway. Raising your hand in science cannot be substituted for a surrender. Teach them they can be anything they want when they grow up, especially alive. Last month, my brother, who grew up to be a lawyer, was pulled over for rolling through a stop sign. The officer asked why he was so nervous, added a splash of light to his window, asked if he were selling drugs, if he were armed, if he could step out of the vehicle while his car was searched. When you're sweating the bullets in a loaded gun, compliance is a dish best served slowly. Even when the Fourth Amendment simmers at the bottom of your throat, I still have a brother. Instructions for firing a weapon. Aim only at what you intend to kill. Pull the trigger. Do not add traffic stop. Do not add raising brown children who are running. Substitute hands up or crossing the street. Some things should not be mixed. That's just a recipe for sidewalk memorials and protests and apologies, communities torn apart by police lines and apologies, and birthday cakes that won't be made this year. And I'm sorry, I'm nervous, officer. It's just my skin is the color of asphalt and tires, both of which are already on the ground. At home, we pass ideas around the dinner table because we haven't given up yet. You can add body cameras, add jail time. Don't militarize a police force, add politicians supporting Black lives. Don't pull the trigger, don't shoot, don't skip steps. We won't stop sharing secrets on napkins, on Facebook, on stages, in Zoom slams, sharing tips until we have something that everyone can get home to eat.
Gang.
Woo!
Gang.
Woo!
Keep that wooing going for Mike Taylor.
Woo!
And
Woo, motherfucking woo!
shit, I did not. Can I get that score? That last score? I'm waiting on our judge / scorekeeper. Waiting on our scorekeeper. I am undoing my hair. I am, call me Joseph because I'm stalling. Okay. Somebody got it in the chat. That's the first time anyone's reacted. Love it. And Steph got a 27.6. Once again, fuck the scores, give it up for the poetry, never the points. The poetry, never the points. All right, so on deck, we find out who is winning the cash prize of the night, but give maximum love to our last poet coming in this slam. Give it up for Steph Spoken.
Woo! Let's go, poet. Let's go.
Content warning, generational trauma. My ancestors, my grandmother, my grandfather, my parents, all taught me thank you, please, and I'm sorry. The sorries were the hardest to swallow. Thank you is easy. Here's your meal. Hold on 1 second. Take time to heal. You don't need to earn rest. Please? That one I learned first. I came out my mother under the blanket in darkness. I was so silent and she was so drugged up that she didn't hear me. Until Aunt Julie saw something shift. Lifted the blanket, the cover, the world, and let the light in. I cried immediately. Why is it so bright in here? It's been dark for so long. Why am I here? What's happening to me? I cried because the light was so bright. And that's how I grew up, believing the sun was too powerful. So when I was 6, my mother let my sag ass outside to play. She didn't like loud noises. So I was by the square pool in Alamo, staring at the sun. She found me. My mother didn't skip a beat. She just grabbed me and looked me in the eyes. It was the first time I saw her fear, her fight or flight or freeze. She said, "Don't do that." I didn't understand. What do you mean? Don't look at the sun. I still didn't understand. But it's so powerful. It's so beautiful. She sighed. It will burn your retinas. Please wear sunglasses. She walked away. I stood there, thinking about the sun, not for the first time.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Steph Spoken. Woo. Word. Gang. All right. And
Let's
for
go.
referrals, because I guess I'm French now. Mike Taylor, after a 5-second time penalty, which fuck linear time. Boo, fuck linear time. We don't.
I timed it. That was 3:05.
Did you?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm I have 2 timers going. Thank you.
Oh, yep. Looking at the wrong timer. It was 3:05. Can you give me the score corrected then?
Okay.
So it's great because this is the Stalin. This is the Stalin point. This is where okay, perfect. Mike Taylor, after not a time penalty, got a 28.9. But again, time penalty, no time penalty, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry. Never the points. Gang.
Good job, Mike.
While we're waiting on that final score and the ranking, let me tell you about other shows in the Bay Area. First of all, I mean, we got to tell you about us, the Oakland Slam Gang Gang. We are right here on Zoom every third Tuesday of the month. You can check us out on Instagram at Oakland Slam, Facebook Oakland Slam, or Twitter at Oakland Slam for more information on how to sign up or watch another stream. Of course, we have our sister show, the Berkeley Poetry Slam, every Wednesday, normally at the Starry Plow. Shout out the Starry Plow. We hope to be back soon. But we are also on Facebook Live, Instagram, and Twitter at Berkeley Slam every Wednesday. And then, of course, the show. I don't know who said shout out to the gays, but we love it. I don't know for why either, but does there need to be a reason to shout out the gays? It's Pride Month. Like, it's kind of our time. Everybody's just gonna have to deal with us. But every first and third Saturdays, on Instagram Live at Rich Oak Alchemy is the Rich Oak Alchemy open mic. I don't expect you to remember that, but if you go to all of the social media I mentioned, like, share, follow, you can stay sweetie tapped in to all of the stuff that we are doing, the workshops, the slams, the open mics. It's amazing. We would love to see you there. Someone said we love the gays out here. Pride year, period 2021. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, it's our first year outside after a pandemic. Yes, we are. It is Pride year. I still don't think that I have those.
I sent it to you already.
Oh, hell. Okay. I got this. All right. So the scores were like hella fucking close.
So close.
Hella fucking close. Like ridiculously fucking close. I cannot stress this enough. First, can I get Sav's score? Sav's score for the first or for the second round.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, that's what I said. No, you didn't. I'm like, so I guess we're still stalling. www.loadinggrinderagain.com. First of all, I have banished Grindr from all devices in my house. I feel very, very liberated from the clutches of mediocre hookups. If anybody knows of a queer-friendly dating app that isn't Grindr, because that's not even a dating app. That's Smash.com. Ooh, Scruff. I've heard of Scruff. Interesting. What we really need is the scores. We will talk more about gay dating after the show. Sav got a 26.7. Once again, I will say this until the day that I die. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry, never the points. The poetry, never the points. And speaking of poetry, this has been the money round. Poets have been duking it out all night for a cash prize. For first place, we give $50 as a prize. But yeah, we are going to get right into this. In third place, with a 55.4, give it up for Joshua Merchant. Gang. Anything you'd like to say to the peeps?
Tired of mud, or whatever them niggas from Game of Thrones said.
Oh my God. I on a personal note, I've been recently what's the word? rewatching Game of Thrones, which is just as painful as it sounds. So, shout out to no sense of self-preservation. But yeah, I guess the first 3 seasons were good, but after that, but in second place with a 55.6, give it up for Caleb. Woo! Gang, gang.
Right on.
Anything you'd like to say to the people?
I just want to say that it's great to be back on a California, Oakland stage. I've missed the fuck out of it, and I'll be back soon.
We've missed you too. Yes, please keep coming back. You do not have to be in California in order to participate in our slams. You just have to be an insomniac if you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for powering through what is my bedtime for sure. And in first place with a 56.1, give it up for Mike Taylor. Woo!
Go, get it.
Woo! Is that an executive director I see?
Yo, thanks so much for listening. And I'm making shrimp tacos in my kitchen right now because it is also late in Denver.
Okay, so
I enjoyed hearing everyone's poetry.
Did you say shrimp tacos?
Sounds like we're going over to Mike.
Shrimp tacos, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch a flight. Cool. Thank you.
Be here. I got a plate. Be here. I got a plate for you.
Lit.
Shout out to Bay Area Creative though. Shout out to Bay Area Creative. If you are looking for a job teaching poetry to kids who will in the future kick your ass in poetry shows, hit me up. Bay Area Creative hiring.
Yep. As a teacher of Bay Area Creative, I can full-heartedly tell you that there are a couple of my students who have kicked my ass at the Battle of the Ages. I'm not gonna name names because we don't like to relive that kind of thing, but they kicked my ass. My ass. Some of them weren't even my kids. They were just out there ass kicking. But yeah, this has been the Oakland Poetry Slam. Thank you so much for watching, for participating. Shout out to Caleb, to Mike, to Joshua, to Sav, to Steph, to Cypress, to Lyrically Gifted Brother, to everybody. Thank you to everyone who makes this work. Damn, this was an amazing night. Y'all are hella fucking talented, each and every one of y'all. You can catch us back here at the Oakland Slam next month. You can catch us again tomorrow, the Berkeley Slam, to do it right all over again. But without further ado, I am going to smoke some weed and go to bed, and you should too. Good night.